let's jump right in. Today, we're talking about one of the most critical security strategies for any organization, privileged identity management, or as you'll hear it called, PIM. Now, if you're the one responsible for protecting your company's most sensitive data, this isn't just nice-to-know information. Honestly, it's essential. So let's get into it.
So let me ask you a question, and I want you to really think about it. Right now in your organization, who has the permanent 24/7 all-access keys to your kingdom, to your most critical systems? It's a huge risk that honestly just hides in plain sight. It's like leaving a pile of master keys lying around, just waiting for someone to pick them up. You see, these always-on admin rights, what we call standing privileged access, are basically a ticking time bomb. Every single one of those accounts is a wide-open door for an attacker. But it's not just about bad guys getting in. It also creates this massive blind spot where a totally innocent mistake by a well-meaning employee could bring your entire system crashing down.
Okay, so how do we defuse this bomb? The answer really is a total shift in how we think about access. We have to move away from permanent trust and towards a model of verified temporary access. And that's the heart of a modern security paradigm that we call the just-in-time, or JIT, solution.
So what is just-in-time access? Well, think of it like this. Instead of giving someone a permanent master key to the whole building, you give them a temporary key card. That card only works for a specific door for a very specific amount of time and for a good reason. As soon as they're done, poof, the key card expires. It's a simple idea, right? But it absolutely shrinks that window of opportunity for a security breach down to almost nothing.
And this all ties into a golden rule of cybersecurity, the principle of least privilege. The goal here is dead simple. Give every single person the absolute minimum level of access they need to do their job, and nothing more. Just-in-time access isn't just some fancy feature. It's the tool that makes this critical principle a reality in the real world, not just a policy that's gathering dust on a shelf.
So, okay, what does this actually mean for the business? What's the bottom line? Well, it means you're not guessing anymore. You're granting access exactly when it's needed, and it's revoked automatically. You're enforcing least privilege everywhere. You can demand that a manager approve critical actions, and you get a business reason for why someone needs that access. You can force multi-factor authentication, and, this is huge, you get a full audit trail for everything. This isn't just another piece of tech. It's a completely different way to manage risk.
So how does a system like PIM actually pull all this off? How does it work its magic? Let's peel back the layers and take a look at the core mechanics that give you this incredible level of control. Okay, this is probably the most important concept to grasp. PIM has two ways of assigning roles. First, there's the active assignment. That's the old way, a permanent master key, always on, always a risk. Then there's the eligible assignment. This is the new, smarter model. A user is pre-approved for a role, but to actually use it, they have to request access and prove it's really them, usually with something like multi-factor authentication. It's the difference between leaving your car keys in the ignition versus keeping them in a lockbox that needs a code to open. So what does this eligible model look like in practice? Let's walk through it. First, a user says, hey, I need to activate my admin role. They have to say why and for how long. That request instantly fires off a notification to their manager or a designated approver. That person then reviews the reason and either approves or denies it. And only after getting that green light does the user get temporary access. And the best part? Every single step is logged. You have a perfect, unbreakable chain of who did what, when, and why. Now, a big mistake people make is thinking that setting up PIM is a one-and-done project. It's not. It's really about building a system for continuous security, making sure your defenses are always adapting and staying strong. You know what happens in every organization over time, right? It's this thing called privilege creep. It's where people just slowly collect more and more access rights as they change roles or work on different projects, and they often keep those rights long after they need them. So how on earth do you solve that? The answer is automated access reviews. Just think of this as a regular, mandatory security health checkup. On a set schedule, say every quarter, managers get a notification and have to review the special access their team members have. They have to actively say, yes, Bob still needs this. If they don't, or if they say he doesn't need it anymore, poof, the access is automatically revoked. It systematically prunes away all those unneeded privileges and stops privilege creep dead in its tracks. Okay, let's bring all of this together. After you implement this, what does this transformation actually mean for your organization's security on a day-to-day basis? The crucial point is this.
You are fundamentally moving from a high-risk world based on assumed trust and permanent access, a tangled mess of potential threats, to a high-control environment where all privileged access is verified, on demand, and completely audited. And for you as a leader, the payoff is just undeniable. You are drastically shrinking the surface area that attackers can target. You're building a much stronger, verifiable posture for any compliance audits. You get a crystal clear audit trail for every single privileged action, and you are minimizing the risk from insiders, whether that's someone with bad intentions or just a good employee about to make a very costly mistake. So I'll leave you with one final thought to take back to your team. When it comes to the keys to your kingdom, is your security based on trust or is it verified? Because in today's world, the choice you make right there will define your entire defense.